Welcome to the demonstration of Festooning. Okay, so we start off with placing masking tape onto the mounting, the cast, and also on the incisal areas of the denture teeth. Okay, so that when we place or pour melted wax, okay, they won't get into the areas wherein we don't need them. Okay, so you use melted wax, okay, not strips of wax, and then sticking it onto the denture bases. Okay, so that's wrong. And so when we already completed the wax up, okay, we will simply just peel off the masking tape. Okay, so because we don't need wax on the incisal edges of the denture teeth. Okay, so now we're ready to festoon. Okay, so the tool that we need, okay, first of all, is a beaver tail carver. Okay, a beaver tail carver, okay, we will position it 45 degrees against the cervical of the denture teeth, and then we will carve mesially and then distally. Okay, exposing the cervical portion of the denture teeth. Okay. Okay, so remember also that when we are doing the first cut, okay, we're not supposed to cut the wax in the cervical on the same level, okay, so it should correspond onto the level also of the incisal edges of the anterior teeth. So if it is high, like the centrals and the canines, you would like to also carve the wax on the cervical high, okay. So for the lateral incisors, which is a little bit low, okay, you also would like to carve the wax in that area a little bit low, okay. On the posterior, however, you can try to put it in the same level or same plane. Okay, so you continue exposing the teeth on the premolars and also on to the molars and to the posterior. So the goal is to show the denture teeth on that area. Okay, just continue until the last molar. Okay, be sure not to carve out the wax in between the teeth or in the interproximal areas. Okay, because that is a sign of periodontitis, and we don't want to simulate dentures with periodontal diseases, right? So be careful on that area. Okay. After that, you can also take another carver, a finer carver, okay, such as the one we used in the video, to remove or to uh, carve off some small waxes, okay, to finish the carving of the wax on that area, okay. Some waxes might be in between, okay, so you use a finer tip, okay. Overall, it should look like this, okay. First cut, okay. Notice the levels of the cervical portions on the anterior and also on the posterior, almost at the same level, right? So you should do that for your first cut, okay. Now after that, you take your vehicarver and try to simulate now the depressions in between the root areas of the teeth, okay. So we're now doing, we're now making the simulation of the roots, okay. So you identify first where are the depressions in between the roots, okay. Then you melt a little bit of wax just to mark, okay, just to mark the areas wherein you will carve, okay. So the goal is to carve the depression so that the root will be shown, okay, or somewhat elevated, okay. After doing that, you take your carver again, okay, use this type of carver and try to carve mesially and distally, okay, preserving the root area, okay. So you're now carving onto the depression, okay, you get my point. So you remove waxes towards the depression, okay. Then you continue doing that also until the posteriors. Okay, so it should not be a sharp cut. Okay, should not be a sharp cut. It should be a smooth cut on that area. Okay, so you use a very light force when carving. Okay, the reason why we are using melted wax is that it should be solid. Okay, at all levels of the wax up. Okay, so if you use maybe a strip of wax and then you place it there on that portion, when you reach the part wherein it is very thin, okay, the whole strip of wax that you place will be peeled off. Okay, so you don't want to do that. You don't want that to happen. So to avoid that, you use melted wax, okay, for the wax up. So you continue this, of course, with the canine, make the depressions a little bit deeper so that we will simulate the illusion that we have a canine prominence in that area. Okay. Onto the posterior also, you should do this. Okay. So again, in your practical exam, time yourselves. Okay. So that you can practice time management in setting and also in festooning, because we expect you to have a full festooning, okay, until the last molars. Okay, so you remove also the waxes. Okay, so you can refine your carving onto the posterior. Okay, remove small waxes. Basically, it should look like this. Okay, at this point, the second cut, you can see there are some depressions in between the roots of the denture teeth. Okay, starting to look a little bit like natural dentition already, right? With the depressions. Now, you would like to make the third cut or the cuff, okay? So you use the tip, okay? The tip of your carvers, okay? You place it 45 degrees against the cuff area, okay? And then you carve lightly, okay? Don't carve too much. Okay? Avoid also depressing the interproximal. Okay? Do not touch the interproximal. So you should not create a depression in that area. Okay, so you lightly carve, okay, towards the distal, so that you will have sort of a bevel, okay, on that area, okay, on the cuff area, right? So you continue also until the posteriors, okay. Just light force. Do not use too heavy force for this one. Okay. So when you carve also the premolars, okay, should be a little bit thin, right? Because they don't have a lot of gingival tissue on that area. Also onto the posteriors. Okay. There you go. If you have time, you can also try to simulate the uh, anterior portion, okay, the frenum on the anterior of the maxillary incisors, right? Between the two maxillary incisors. If you have time. If you don't have time, okay, so you better not do that. Okay, so check and recheck for any imperfections, okay, on that area. Okay, now should look like this. Okay, so again, more definite structure between the cuff and also the roots. Okay, now for characterization, it depends on who is working on the case. Okay, so for me, what I like is to simulate the gingival fibers. So when I simulate the gingival fibers, I use the sharp end of the carver and then try to carve out the cervical portions. Okay, until the cuff area only. I stop at the cuff area. Okay, so for the anteriors, I used to carve them straight only. Okay, but onto the posteriors, I try to place the tip, okay, of the fibers distally. Okay, and then you use your torch. Okay, so torch lightly. Okay, because everything that you did a while ago will be lost if you are trigger happy with the torch. You can also use a brush, okay, to simulate the stipplings and to even out the wax on that area. So while it is a little bit hot, or a little bit soft, rather, you place the brush. And then you finalize everything, smoothen everything with another round of the torch. Okay? After that, when you're done, it should look like this. Okay? You can see it is not smooth, of course, because the gingival area is not smooth. Okay, so you can see the difference between the upper and the lower. Okay, so you also, of course, also you should do that on the lower. Okay, now for the lingual area, of course, you have to expose also the teeth. Okay, so you have to have a clean lingual and palatal portion. You also place wax on the palatal. Okay, and then build up this portion, okay, on the palatal. Now, when it is covered with wax, you try to thin it out and make it uniform by passing a carver throughout the area. Okay, and then after that, you use your torch, okay, to smoothen everything out, but not too much, because if not, you will burn